Hey guys, BeastForce here, and welcome to my Phineas and Ferb breakdown. And yes, we are going to be doing season 5 of Phineas and Ferb Breakdown Revival. On June the 12th, 2015, the show of the last day summer was the series finale of Phineas and Ferb having their last day of summer. And nearly 10 years later, Phineas and Ferb is back on June the 5th. 2025. And who remembers the song of the last day of summer of that quote? But this isn't the end of our story. And it wasn't, as we get to see Phineas and Ferb and Milo Murphy crossover for in 2019 and Candace Against the Universe, but this takes place before the last day of summer. And there are 4 episodes that I'm gonna break down. And yes, I did watch the other episodes on Disney Plus. And then we're gonna get more in the future by next month once we get to that. Wow, watch a lot of episodes of season 5. There's not much that's changed except the animation, the plot, and also a lot of things there with the song. But we do get more character development. Examples: Stacy and Perry the Platypus, Isabella and the Fireside Girls, a lot of scenes, a lot of funny gags, and a lot of stuff, which is very interesting. While I'm breaking down this episode and the other episode, does the episode still hold on to this day like the previous episode? We're gonna find out and see. If this is your first breakdown and you're curious to know how the rating system works, there's a detailed description down below along with my other videos in my playlist. After 10 years, the first episode to release of the Phineas and Ferb revival in season 5 is called Summer Blockbuster, written by the old writer Scott Peterson. Premiered in June the 5th, 2025 on Disney XD and Disney Channel US. The boys decide to ramp up their local summer block party with supersized attractional. Meanwhile, Dr. Doofenshmirtz has returned to his evil ways and Perry has to find out why. And also, if you want to avoid spoilers, watch the episodes first and then come back here. Thank you. Looks like we started differently. Like in Roller Coaster the musical, it started with 104 days of summer vacation. But in this episode, it started with the opening of the title of the logo of Phineas and Ferb. But it does come back regularly next episode once we get to that. Phineas and Ferb are in Danville Middle School, but in Doof 101, they were in a different school. As you see the title, Dan Prover and Jeff Sompimos, it has a different title font as difference between season 1 and season 2 and season 3 onwards, but in season 5 it has a different title font in the end once we get to see.
We saved the world.
And this is the first time we get to see Buford, Balji, and Isabella being in school, which Phineas and Ferb already had in one episode, which they changed schools. Before Phineas removes to the last day of summer picture, you get to see Lights, Candace, and Action, which they were showing.
That's what we did for summer vacation.
And Phineas is still voiced by Vincent Martella, and also they're recapping of the last day of summer, which was the series finale of Phineas and Ferb. Of course, with Alka Files there, but it's nice to see them recapping after what they did in last summer. And there's one with Doof Dynasty, which makes no sense, which takes place in a different setting of time. We also get to see the Late Nose Monster, Father's Day, Beat Long Beach Body of Terror, Let's Take a Rocket to Space, and also the roller coaster. And also that is Swinter in season 1.
We appreciate you breaking it up into 9 months of installments for us.
It's odd that the teacher doesn't have a name. I'm going to call her Miss Furbank. And she is voiced by none other than Stacey Harino's voice actress, Kelly Hu.
In time for the end of this school year.
And obviously all the voice actors of the original show has returned. And except for Ferb, who is voiced by David, who does a good job. And also Jerry once we get to that.
First day of summer vacation.
Technically, the first day of summer's tomorrow.
The first song of the revival called Summer is starting right now, which kicks off the summer vacation of 104 days. And also we get to see Vincent Martella recording the lines of it.
Singing the very first song of the new Phineas and Ferb. And what did I do, Swampy?
You might have cried a little bit.
I cried like a little bitch.
Even Miss Fairbanks is enjoying the song.
Before the
Isabella and Baljeet have the different bags of color, as it should have been pink for Isabella.
Everybody gather round. We're coming down. Now, summer is starting right now.
And there's the students dancing outside of Danville Middle School as they prepare for another 104 days of summer. There's Django and there's Brittany, who we're going to see more in the future.
School's out, we just got through it.
And also the dance choreography is performed by Costin Mayer, which you can find on YouTube, but I'll put it in the screen once I edit it.
161 days without it, all those months of anticipation. Top ourselves somehow. Summer is starting right now. So let's get
Fun fact, Costin Mayer actually did the dancing choreography 2 years ago.
For the new season of Phineas and Ferb track, because we did this choreography like 2 years ago.
Havemeyer calls us up and he says, hey, we want to do this epic opening number for the first episode of the new season. Would you like to choreograph it? Obviously,
I
yes.
will clear my schedule. And Havemeyer is sitting at our dining room table showing us the whole sketch out storyboard for the opening number.
And we are geeking out over seeing these storyboards. We grew up watching the show, seeing the like rough outline sketches.
Feels illegal. Like, am I supposed to see that?
Right.
They're not even colored in
It's
yet.
not something you think about.
This is also our first time choreographing for animation, so Dan really gave us some tips from an animator perspective on how we could make the choreography work. Details you didn't know existed. Front, back, side, other side, elbow cam, up my nose. You have to give them every angle because they're drawing it right.
Together with the storyboard so that the animators would know, these two layers go here, this head turn's supposed to happen at this second. Final animation, seeing the Phineas and Ferb do our choreography with all their friends is wild.
Literally crazy. It also makes me believe that they're fully real. Like
Right.
they actually practiced and they like learned it with their friends.
Like they-
a whole another year before we could tell you about it.
But now the new season is finally dropping. We have been singing this song for 2 years.
No.
As we get to see Doofus and Evil incorporated in the first time in the revival, you get to see, look at the site, it looks different, it looks stylish, it looks colourful. It has more details in the background, which looks so good. And I have no complaints about the backgrounds in Phineas and Ferb. They're so good in season 3 onwards as we get to it. And don't forget, his building was destroyed in Milo Murphy's Law. And of course it gets rebuilt after we get to see in Phineas and Ferb in previous seasons.
Most of last year, trying to be good.
And that's the selfie that was shown in Major Monogram once Perry go back to his lair. Once we get to that.
To my evil way.
And he's gone back to evil ways. I don't know if they explain it or not. But overall, hopefully it does. But we do get to see evidence that he tried to be good. Alka Files, Milo Murphy's Law. But he did go back to his evil ways while in Hamster and Gretel in one clip.
You ever feel like shushing the entire tri-state area? Schmertz Evil Incorporated.
Those boys tonight are my summer day.
I know the room has a dark palette and a light palette in this scene, but the room is exactly the same layout, but it has much more detail to it, as more different patterns in the floor right there, and the room is the same how it left. Very, very good. You know that sign is, damn Provamai, you cheeky bastard.
of anticipation.
That's the mixed mangover machine in Candace Cheer Up. The time machine in It's About Time from season 1. Cheesetopia in The Remains of the Platypus in season 3. Candace loses her head in season 1 in the beginning of Phineas and Ferb. Backyard Beat in The Lone Nun Party of Terror in season 1. Swinter in season 1. And the roller coaster from the first episode. You can't escape Front Face Phineas, and that's the first we see in season 5. The choreographer's song is very good. There are some off-pacing of the animation in this episode once we get to that, but overall, it's very good. And also, this is the second time we get to see a plane fly around of a banner called Summer since Phineas and Ferb across the second dimension.
Starting right now.
Hey, where's Perry?
I'll put it up once I do the ratings, but not right now, because it will leave confusion to the ratings, and I'm going to keep it that way. And there's my goat, Perry the Platypus, preparing to fight. And you think this is like Doofusmertz's creation, but Perry the Platypus is actually training here. And the first entrance to the lair is from a cactus. Well, the first one in the original one was in Phineas and Ferb's backyard. And it's actually a giant scorpion which Perry the Platypus used.
Been on venomous insectoid robot duty for the last 9 months.
Is that what he's been doing 9 months? Then he was doing something else with Doofenshmirtz and also hanging around with the aliens in Milo Murphy's Law.
Social media status to evil again.
And I think he could have done better as he's posted it, like in Instagram, hashtag evil. He should have typed hashtag Doofenshmirtz or Evil Incorporated, but he got 0 likes.
Some shenanigans.
How about the world's biggest bounce house?
And Isabella's back to her normal voice from season 1 and season 2, as her voice is high pitched as in season 4.
What you doing? That's great, Phineas. Listen, there's something I want to tell you.
I don't mind the high pitched voice that Isabella used, but even though it's kind of grown on me for the past few years as I don't care anymore, even though Alistair Stoner always does a great job as Isabella.
Red Bull hot tub.
The Red Bull hot tub, this is going to become a gag throughout the couple of episodes until we get it. Oh yeah, a giant Wackapess does appear in this episode once we get to it, as Candace said, why not build an on when we get to there?
Balloon dart game.
The second time that darts has been mentioned since Bullseye in season 3.
Super jacuzzi in a loaf. Why not build them all? All disappear, can they?
It's nice to see Candace again, as we do get to see her bust Phineas and Ferb again, but I like how they keep the ideas fresh in some other ways to bust them, like busting themselves, bust them another way, trying to bust them while showing it to mom or watching the waiting. Other than that, it doesn't work, but at least it keeps it fresh. And many problems that everyone's seen, that Candace's development is gone from Candace against the universe. But overall, she did try to keep them away from busting her brothers through the end, but even though they gave her a mug towards the end, as she does appreciate it, but this takes place before the last day of summer.
To hear your baby say the word, and then they never stop saying it. I asked them to put together something to spice up our booth at the blog party.
That's a lot of pies here. That's a reference to what Linda has always been saying in season 3 and season 4 throughout before the show has ended. Do anybody want some pie? That's what she always said.
We're running around while you kids were having fun, and I missed seeing any of it.
That is very true. You have missed many of it, but you did have fun along the way with, example, going to England with the Finn Fletcher family or many other things they went on together.
Spend more time together as a family. I'm really busy, so I need you to man our pie leave under any circumstances.
This is weird to see a close-up shot while she's speaking. Odd.
Every year we take a family photo on the...
And this is such a cute picture. Phineas, Candace with Linda. Sadly, we still don't know who Phineas and Candace's dad is. And it's not Doofenshmirtz, by the way. And we see Lawrence join the family while doing Love Handle. And also Phineas wearing a different outfit, which he uses in the flashback in Ain't No Kiddie Ride. And, oh, there you are, Perry. And we still get to see a young picture of Phineas and Ferb, as Perry the Platypus is not in this picture yet, as it plays evident in Phineas and Ferb across the second dimension, which was in the flashback. And this part bothers me. You can see Candace's arc goes quickly, as it's not animated by frame by frame properly, which sounds a bit off.
Corny. Why do we keep doing it?
They're growing up so fast.
And I forgot Phineas has an extra stripe on his shirt, as they do get older and older, as we get to see evident in At Your Age.
Pictures always make me cry.
And there's Perry the Platypus joining in the fight, which is actually a baby platypus we get to see. As if you watch the second dimension, there's a flashback in it.
That's the idea.
And she is about to say pie right there. A fade transition. Phineas is really enjoying the breeze, similar to Summer Belongs to You. Iconic.
My return to evil would be met with an equal opposing force of semi-aquatic.
No way Perry the Platypus will get out of this one unless, but this was one of Dan Provermeyer's first recording as he showed it in YouTube Shorts.
This is officially the first Doofenshmirtz line from season 5. There he is! Welcome, Perry the Platypus. It has been too long. Come in. Mi casa es you casa. Can I get you anything? Lemonade, veggie dip, a trap?
And yes, the La Casas that he said was removed as it didn't make it into the final cut.
If you love something, set it free.
What are you...
Up to no good.
Evil again? Hi, Perry.
Vanessa is back, and her color scheme has changed slightly to a same color scheme as Doofenshmirtz, but also has a different color scheme now. As example, in Hamster Together, Laura Bridget Murphy, Milo's mom's color scheme has changed as we get to see it. Even though the animation feels a bit off in this episode, but you can't deny the background design. It looks so good. You get to see the Finn Fletcher's house, the Phineas and Ferb inventions that are there, Isabella house. There's a lot of things there, and it looks so good. And the song is called Gotta Get Gone, which is in the Phineas and Ferb Across the Second Dimension video game. But this is the first time we get to hear the song in the show, which is amazing. And it looks very, very good, and it sounds amazing. And there's Coltrane and Stacy once again together. And also Jenny, as we don't get to see her as much in later seasons once we get to that, as that's her only cameo appearance in season 5 so far. As we don't get to see her much, as once we get to the Summer Party episode, we'll get to talk about her. And there's Evian, and he wants a knowledge for people to kiss him, as once we get to more of that meme. Change from kiss to hug. You're kind of being creepy, Evian, but I do feel sorry for him. And we actually get our first Finnabella scene right there, as it will play a mutual respect according to Vincent Martella. Man, Evian really needs something to know about. Knowledge my existence. You can say the same about Milo Murphy's Law when he didn't get season 3. Baljeet's pushing Buford in the cotton candy as he turns him into a cotton candy covered by it as revenge for wedging him for out season 1 and season 4. But he looks like a villain from Hamster and Gretel.
Behold, the vaporizer-inator! It was on clearance. It has nothing to do with the scheme. The vaporized chickens for some reason.
And we all know that's a reference to Candace Against the Universe as we get to see the axe.
Either you point, you click, whatever noise you has got.
Danville. I thought it said Danville, but it's Danville. As Doofenshmirtz vaporized the tree, you get to see it's going to be covered in that blue aura right there as it covers it, instead of that green aura, which is a nice change of pace. And the lady is skating while listening to music on the stereo, which everyone use it in real life while they go to parks or events and stuff. Phineas and Ferb really keep up with the modern era, mixing it with odd, new and old, which is very, very new. And the song she's listening to is called Song of the Summer, which is actually the first song that Phineas and Ferb was produced. I really love Perry's expression. He's like, oh, not this shit again I have to deal with.
Coming up, you'll pull a muscle, Perry the Platypus.
This is the job my wife gave me.
I like how Lawrence is pretty chill, as the Flynn family of the side gets really tempered at time, but in the Fletcher family, they're pretty chill. And we get to see more of Coltrane and Jenny right there.
Possibly take away all 5 of these things at once.
Well, it can if they done something spectacular, Doofenshmirtz.
5 things at once. Ah, there's that sass, right?
Perry the Platypus coming in clutch once again. Man, I missed the theme as it says like that, and Perry the Platypus looks such a badass in this scene.
We gonna do this again?
When I first saw that scene, I was like, holy shit, Mom has been vaporized, and she does turn into a clown once we get into the next episode, and I know Phineas and Ferb will find a way. And we do once we get to the Claudia Chancellor. Alright, the first of the rating score of Phineas and Ferb Season 5 Revival. And it's Summer Blockbuster. As the first episode gets, the plot will get a 3. In the first scene, we get to see Phineas and Ferb and his friends in school during the 9 months as they prepare for the new summer days as they build more inventions, which Candace, of course, wants to bust them once again, back to her old habits since last summer, and Doofenshmirtz returned to his evil ways even though it's never explained, or as we get to see many of invention stuff as Doofenshmirtz using the vaporizer to vaporize everything, including Linda Flynn Fletcher, as she's been vaporized by Doofenshmirtz while Perry the Platypus tied a rope around him at Candace's scream. Characterization where I do what it has to be done, as we get to see Candace, even though her character development she gets in Candace Against the Universe, but she goes back to Boston in The Last Day of Summer, which we get to it, as Doofenshmirtz returned to his evil way, as he does shown it a bit, but it doesn't explain it, as I'm not going to give it a 5, but it would just play unfair. I'm going to give it a 4. It plays well to its strengths as Phineas and Ferb, Beefy and Bouchy, Isabella, as consistent as the previous 1 to 4 seasons, as well as Candace. Even though she has some character development in Candace Against the Universe, she still acts the same, trying to bust her brothers, even though she always wanted to protect them. Linda and Lawrence as well as the other character. It's good to see Perry the Platypus again, but Doofenshmirtz returned to evil, but with no inspiration, is the reason why it gets a down for me. The visuals, 4. One of them being the backgrounds of the buildings, the designs of the inventions, a lot of things, the songs, they're all great, but some of the animation looks a bit off. One of them was Candace talking to Mom in the house, which raises her hand up, which bothers me a bit. But it doesn't ruin it for me, as the story, the plot, and the song will always be top tier in Phineas and Ferb. The importance, do I need to say anything? It's a 5. It's the first episode of the revival after 10 years is the reason why it will get a 5, especially in the time skips. And entertainment, it gets a 5. And the first total score of Summer Blockbuster is a 21 out of 25. And it has made a very good start, 21 out of 25. And it's a very good score for a 7-minute episode, as it is very, very short along with Atlantis. Let's move on to the next one. Part 2 of an episode of Phineas and Ferb is called Cloudy with a Chance of Mom, premiered also on June the 5th, 2025. Written by the same writer who did the first episode. The kids and Candace work to save Linda after she'd been accidentally hit by Doofenshmirtz's vaporizer and turns into a clown monster out to destroy the block party.
Mom, your stuff disappears, not mine!
That is pretty true, but in many episodes Linda gets zapped in many times, but overall we've seen it there, as well as the inventions disappear, but Candace is right.
Didn't do it. Okay. Beam came down from that balloon and hit your mom!
Mysterious force that takes away your inventions.
Candace mentioned the mysterious force again since the Phineas and Ferb across the second dimension.
Guys, is it just me, or does that cloud kind of look like your mom?
Burn! No, she's right.
Doofenshmirtz vaporizer has turned Linda into a giant cloud, which is absolutely crazy if you put it that way. Who wants pie? That's an iconic line. But does she see the inventions from there? Come on, Linda.
The high humidity in the air to form a cumulonimbus, if you will.
And it's a real word. I'll put it in the screen to show you what columbus means.
Oh, a mom cloud!
I like how Buford sees it on the dictionary instead of people researching it, which I would still do anyways.
A mom cloud.
Front face Phineas again. And Candace is panicking in the background, just like Phineas in Night of the Living Pharmacist.
Rose away. I know what we have to do today.
It still counts, but he said, I know what we have to do today. Instead, I know what we're gonna do today, but it still counts.
But how?
Whatever device did this so we can try to reverse it to make Mom again. Didn't know how long we've got before she dissipates entirely. Together as long as we can.
No matter how bad it gets or worse it gets, Phineas and Ferb always have a plan no matter what, as the evidence we've seen in Season 1 and Season 4, including Save Summer. Ooh, Isabel looks weird in this thing, but at least it's drawn on model like that.
Anything we might need.
Now we get to talk about Phineas having an extra stripe right there. In the right side, Phineas has 4 strikes. On the left side, Phineas has 5 strikes as he is older in season 5 instead of season 4 and season 1, as we see the evidence right there.
You never know.
I bumped the fan. This is my fault.
Oh, grab the whack-a-pet.
How do I start this thing?
And you know that is a reference to the theme song of Phineas and Ferb, as Candace does the whack-a-pest.
Oh, for sake.
You hear that theme?
I want it. Whoa! A huge cloud with a face! This is not how I want it. Whoa! I got nothing. Agent P. How could I use this for evil? Agent P?
He recognized the cloud's face, but he doesn't recognize it was Linda who used to go on the date. I think it's just for Dan Provorite and Sophie Rush to put it out of the way that Doofenshmirtz never saw her again.
Cloud, and we believe he may turn it into a huge storm.
Which he will do once we get to that.
Oh yes, that's a great idea!
You should have just gone away and make sure that Doofenshmirtz doesn't know. Now he can hear it, he will use that as an idea. Oh, for fuck's sakes.
You helped me be evil!
This is a weird frame how Perry the Platypus falls down. As look at him, his face, he's not fake. I like how we see the buildings there.
Curse you, Perry the Plummet Puss!
And there's the billboard of WinCon, which we're going to see later on in the scene once Linda, as a clown, reached there as Phineas and Ferb tries to save her.
Portable Particle Accelerator Science Project. Begin, please. Hello.
I wouldn't be surprised if it lost to the baking soda volcano, which is a reference to season 1.
We hang together for another 8 minutes and 47 seconds.
Phineas and Ferb and again better double time it fast, quickly.
Vacuum at 3 o'clock.
Ferb is coming in clutch once again. Ferb is really carrying the savior right there, saved Mom twice from different disasters, as he will do it again. Now it's Phineas's turn to play his part.
Wait, I can't think of a way to turn a cloud into a storm.
Breaking news, Linda is now turned into a cloud as you get to see it from the screen while Doofen's perspective. How could I have 4 friends and one of them is my nemesis? Get that reference?
Hello? Hi, Francis. It's your old friend Heinz Doofenshmirtz. Scientifically turn a cloud into a storm.
Meteorology. You're going to upset the existing cloud's warm front by hitting it with a cold front. Why, you...
Reminds me of an episode of season 3 when Major Monogram was calling Doofenshmirtz.
The balloon and win a prize! And my future mother-in-law is gone forever.
When I first watched this episode a couple of weeks ago, as she said future mother-in-law, I was like, oh my word, I'm not surprised. And obvious Isabel really wants to marry Phineas in the future, but once we get to Buford designing her the Red Bull hot tub and Phineas has a tuxedo which he uses and Isabel wants to use it as a wedding for the future, we'll discuss about it later on.
I regret nothing.
That's a 10 out of 10 landing there from Buford.
What do you see in there?
Big rectangular upholstered object.
Are you describing a couch?
And Buford actually gets to keep this couch as once we get to later episodes soon.
Vaporizerinator.
Good save, Isabella. And we do get to see more Buford and Isabella interaction, just like before.
And still your mom dissipate completely.
Oh no, it's WinCon!
And there's WinCon, as a lot of people are going there for the conventions of WinCon.
Team convention?
Don't cheat!
So much better than last year's vacuum con.
Oh yeah, this was one of the storyboards in full chain animation that uploaded, which you can find on YouTube.
Keep straight toward it!
Herb?
Yeah, Ordinary Pizza, we get one of the first Milo Murphy Law records, and that won't be the last. Phineas and Ferb are clutch again as they're using billboards to protect the windmills from Mom from being anticipated.
Yes, got her boxed up like...
Looks like the whole episode's about to become a stage show. As Doofus fire DNA as Linda's covered in that light blue aura, she turns into a dark grey cloud as the light covers in that aura as she fires with the lightning. This is very well done animation right there. Just like Isabella right there, she doesn't look bad, but it looks weird in this frame, but I like how they're trying to do it. A woman riding a bicycle is a reference to Wizard of Oz. He's like, you're messing with my oldest again, just like in season 1 with you can't make up with your mind and it all.
Fix it, right?
Is 269 a prime number? To rig a power cable because the battery is fried.
Looks like they're gonna have to charge her out and to reverse her back to her normal self.
Here in the thingy.
Couch.
Every time I forget something, sometimes I act like Buford, and sometimes I'd be like Isabella's like couch. Man, he's really beating the shit out to do her. Good for him, because once you turn Linda into a cloud, you deserve what you get. And Nate is going willy-nilly again. Oh, the irony, Doofus. You need to chill out, Eva.
Tell Francis that his evil scheme leaves a lot to be desired.
While Doofus used the Innator to power out Linda as she turns into a grey cloud, as well as Danville as the sun goes away as well, which is a pretty nice nod to it.
Yes, good news. I have the device to turn your mom into the cloud, and I am trying to reverse it.
And that's what happens in many episodes in Phineas and Ferb. Once there's a disaster, there are times you have to reverse it.
Get the mom cloud here.
Not with these bumper cars.
Perhaps what we need is a big, slow, heavy vehicle.
Thanks. I know how to do. Come on.
Go Candace.
This episode feels like a serious finale, but it's actually one of the first episodes, as Save Summer is not the season finale either in season 4, but it acts like it as well. No, not Mr. Slushy Dog.
There's ever a time when I need you to listen to me. Listen to me now.
There's that WJOP antenna from the top as it's gonna get destroyed for the second time since Candace Against the Universe. Danville's people are gonna be pissed. And also the war spreading, and it happened again since Candace Against the Universe.
Remember? You wanted us all to be together.
I love this shot. Look at Candace in the back while staring at her mom. That is a really cool shot.
Save Summer, your favorite memory, to be together.
Looks like the power of love is working right there as it's getting her attention.
Mom, this way.
As Linda as a clown, she's growing legs and hands as it extends, as it really, really does well for the animation in this episode. P and F, I see what you're doing there.
She looks scary.
As the clouds is starting to become dark grey, as you get to see people coming around, that's another good detail right there, as it fades. Jenny's holding a hand of somebody, but who? I know it's not her dad, but who could it be? Hey, it's good to see Love Handle again.
Get the giant cotton candy machine locked down in the front yard.
Ah! It's fixed!
Looks like she's getting aggressively angrier. Looks like they're gonna have to need a plan B. And it's disconnected. That doesn't sound good.
Too much water. She can't fire the device until she is close to her normal density.
And you got a couple minutes to do it, and you better make it fast quicker, otherwise she will dissipate, and time is of the essence.
So how the heck do we get rid of all that water waste?
Water works. That's it.
And I love how Candace thinks of a plan to bring pictures of the family together, which actually works. Power of love right there. As she is crying as well. Looks like Candace's plan has worked. Hopefully for the best.
She's raining.
Yes, she's...
Man, I really like the score in this scene. Reminds me of Candace Against the Universe at times.
Yes, she's getting...
No!
Oh, this is where Perry the Platypus come in clutch again, and he's awesome.
Come on, Mom. Come back to us.
Along with the cotton candy spinning around, along with the Innator flying around as it reverts back to normal with the blue aura clears it away as the sky goes back to the sunny sun of summer as Linda falls in the cotton wool, which is very well done.
Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. You guys. All you guys.
Oh, that is so sweet. And of course, Linda is fine. Nice to see her back here. And she doesn't remember a thing on what happened with the adventures and stuff.
And that was like Cleveland 92 all over again. Great. Albuquerque 93 all over again.
That reminds you of Detroit 1984. Woo!
Love this song.
This is the song.
I wish this song got an extended version, but it's still a great song. It's nice to see Jenny here. Man, look at Phineas and Ferb go. Whoa! There's Stacy, Candace, and Jeremy. And Jeremy doesn't get to speak until we get to the pet wash thing once we get to that. And there's Jenny. And by the time it happens, this is actually her only appearance in season 5. Unless she appears, but oh, I really feel bad for her. She's one of the most unutilized characters in Phineas and Ferb. Oh, it's nice to see Candace appreciate Evian. And also, the fact is, they do get to sing each other once the episode comes up. But there is a song to it. What a way to start season 5. And I know what my feelings is once I do the ratings of this episode.
We're back, baby!
Breaking the fourth wall again, and do get covered in that yellow aura this time.
Right now.
The end credits just the same as the OG, but the font is revert back to the OG from season 1, as I show you a tweet about it, as it removes the part from season 2 to season 4, which is the same, but they revert back to it, which is very nice. And of course, Phineas and Ferb are using the Disney version of Paul Rodish, which is the Mickey Mouse version, which they use also in The Last Day of Summer, which is the only one. Alright, what a brilliant start to season 1 so far. I'm going to give the plot a 4. Mom being turned into a cloud is actually a very good idea, with Doofenshmirtz vaporizer and they are causing all of this. And Perry took him out while Doofenshmirtz using another innator to make Linda look stronger in the cloud by controlling all of the lights and everything in there. Phineas and Ferb and the gang planned how to get her back, and they lured her back into the Finn Fletcher's house. I really like how Candace using the power of love and a lot of pictures to make her cry, as they have a strong bond together, as well as Phineas and Ferb and the gang also helped a lot. Well, Perry the Platypus coming clutch to save her. And everyone's doing a great job of doing that, and summer starts right here. Characterization will get a 5. I'm really impressed of Candace, even though she tried to bust her brothers earlier. I really like how she tries to help Phineas and Ferb to bring back their mom back to the Flynn Fletcher's house to make sure that she's been turned back to her, which she does, and the rest of the team help. Baljeet, Buford, Isabella, and Perry the Platypus doing his thing in the end. Everyone else has done a very good job in this episode, and it's well written, and we're going to see more of that in the future. The visuals is very good in this episode. Just like I said previously, the animation can be all over the place. As an example from the first episode, which rushed it back in, but in the second episode, it looks stunning. The clouds, Linda, the way she be turned into a cloud was amazing. Doofenshmirtz and Nathan's using it. It's amazing. They put a lot of effort into this episode. I know many people disagree, but this is one of the best animation parts so far, and it's done very well. I know many people criticized it on social media and other things, but overall, there are a lot of things to cover, which gives me hope for the future ahead of this season. Important, it's a 5, no doubt about that. Entertainment is a 5. And that leaves off with a 24 out of 25. And this is easily one of the best rating episodes. And it's episode 2, but there are other episodes that are better. Even though it's not higher rating, we'll get to that in the soon. Overall, even the animation can be off pace at times in some scenes. It has made a very good start, and I'm looking forward for new episodes once I'm gonna break down with it. The third episode of the Phineas and Ferb revival in season 5 called Submarine Sandwich Submarine premiered in June the 5th, 2025, written by Oscar Lovers, which will be his first in the show and he will write plenty of more, and Joshua Pewitt. The kids build a giant submarine sandwich submarine to explore the Mariana Trench. Meanwhile, Doofenshmirtz's latest invention steals food from him while his oven is broken and he awaits a visit from the repairman.
There's another 104 days.
The intro stays the same, but there are some minor changes, like there's another 104 days, but it will revert back to it in later episode. There's 104 days.
That doesn't exist.
And Phineas's voice has been updated now that Vincent Martella's using the current voice. There's that roller coaster from the pilot, and also you can find the pilot in YouTube, which has been uploaded. Oh wow, front face Phineas again, as you get to see the bumper cars and Phineas and Ferb and his friends in school from the first episode. And there are new pictures, including the gecko gear, which we're going to break down in License to Bust episode. But the only disappointing thing about it, there's no season 4 pictures from the previous season, and then it's only season 5. But where's season 4? I'm just a bit bothered about it.
Phineas and Ferb are making a title sequence.
Like I said 1,000 times, the background of Phineas and Ferb looks stunning, but look at this, it looks so different as the Flynn Fletcher's has looked more stylish and more clearer in the background, as in season 1 to season 2 it was the same, as it's more stylish, but they put a lot of effort to it.
Phineas, what you do? Wow.
And that won't be the last time she will say whoa.
It's an actual submarine sandwich submarine.
Like this bread-related activity.
And he still mentions about the bread ball hot tub, but hopefully one day it gets mentioned. Makes it into it.
Still going on about that bread bowl hot tub?
I was about to say the same thing, Balji.
I hope the sandcastle building queen.
And Linda's mentioning about the sandcastle from Atlantis. I'm glad they brought this back, but it was actually the shortest episode of Phineas and Ferb, along with the first episode of the season 5 of the revival. But I'm glad they brought this back, and they're doing it a lot in season 5 once we get to it.
Bigger fish to fry. The boys are building the biggest and stupidest thing in Phineas and Ferb history.
Do you mean the stupidest thing in Phineas and Ferb history? They done way more than that. Candace, come on.
Thing with your brothers distract you. Not today.
Oh yeah, Candace has a smartphone now, as she has an original phone from season 1 to season 4, but now she has a smartphone now. That's changed, which keeping up for the modern times of Phineas and Ferb and the modern day era.
The boys are making.
And which would look like in a storm.
That is another fake out, as we're going to see more Phineas and Ferb fake out as it plays into the dramatic theme.
Mariana Trench.
Do the safety patch, trench again.
Anyway.
This is actually one of the best animation parts right there. There are some slow parts there, but this is one of the best. Look at the posing, the facial expressions, all of that. That matches the voice acted performance, and it's done very well. Well done.
Absolutely. Speaking of high-pressure hull insulation, where's Perry?
Intriguing segue.
Wait, what? Why am I a sock puppet?
It's part of the bundle.
Okay, it's funny when it's you.
Being a sock puppet is so creepy, and that won't be the last, as we're going to see more with Buford with his fuckery.
People's food right off their plates.
Sir, I think I found the button.
And yes, Carl is the Klimpaloon. At least he kicked the window while didn't do property damage, as we saw in season 1 and season 4.
Any different? Pericles the platypus. That's your name. You're semi-aquatic.
This is for new audience who watches Phineas and Ferb. Perry is actually a semi-aquatic mammal.
Ridiculous window. And not this ridiculous window of me.
Man, Doofenshmirtz chasing an orange. Love that window. How did he get it? That's just wow.
A week from Tuesday.
Sometimes in the Phineas and Ferb continuity, it's very consistent, but when it comes to the timeline, like the dates and that, is so inconsistent, and it could lead to confusing for the viewers of the timeline of Phineas and Ferb. So we are in June 16th, after the day of June 15th. So that was Vanessa's birthday. So she'll probably be 17 right now as Candace. I'm not sure yet. And don't forget, Candace's birthday is in July. So that means Vanessa's birthday in Dude We're Getting the Band Back today takes place before Candace loses her head. So which makes the timeline very confusing. But we'll get to more of that once it arrives. And also, there's a YouTuber named Incredible Color actually did a finding all 104 days in Phineas and Ferb, which you can find on his channel.
So a decommissioned Cold War spy satellite, which then bounces the signal right back here. It can't be my oyster. Then the tri-state area will be my buffet.
Looks like he's gonna try different this time, but the last time he did it was the junk food area, and we all know how this happened.
I am so lazy.
Relatable, doof, relatable. He's taking burgers from burger, and look at the fries and the burger that the people are eating. But it was a missed opportunity for. I wish we got Slushy the Clown back from Does Die Duck Bill Make Me Fat. I wish we had it. It would have kept the continuity very consistent.
Now that wasn't actual food, but you get the idea, Parodontal the Platypus.
A little extra yeast in the baguette will increase our overall maneuverability. Questions till the end.
Is it the end?
Ha!
Build a sub with meat and cheese to dive beneath the open sea.
And the song is called as the same title of the episode, Sambuing Sandwich Submarine, sing by the Repairman, none other than Jeff Swalpy. Phineas and Ferb and his gang building together to make inventions. That's like good old times. Just like every song in Phineas and Ferb, it's very well choreographed and it's very well done. And it's based around the Wellerman from TikTok.
I'm an oven repair guy, but
And it's the same repair guy that Doofus was well mentioned. Very nice.
where to be until a week from Tuesday.
Where are you? The sandcastle competition started.
And that will be the second time that Candace will build a sandcastle since Atlantis.
About the boys?
You just told me not to tell you.
Can you hear how disappointed my face looks?
Poor Linda, she's like, oh, I'm done with this shit, man.
Me? Oh, I'm just an innocent stowaway.
This is my good china. Here, this is my bad china.
At least Doofus stopped the fight so that his plate, golden plate, doesn't get ruined. It's nice to see that. I really like it. Very, very nice. That soundtrack was used in Underwaters like Atlantis and When Buford Lost Biff. This was very well animated as you get to see the fish with different colours as Phineas and Ferb and the gang in the background. The octopus from, was it when he kidnapped Biff, Buford's fish?
I got you!
We're about to stick our flag in the deepest part of the ocean.
And there's that hungry fish monster. And yeah, he was in the trailer in the Phineas and Ferb revival in April. We're going to see him what he does as he does chase Phineas and Ferb and the gang.
Move over, Ferb! I've almost got my license!
Oh yeah, she mentioned about she almost got her license, which will be in the next episode we're gonna break down. I really love how they keep the continuity consistent there. I like how Perry the Platypus was using his hiney to counter the potatoes, which is very, very awesome. The goat right there.
No dessert until your plate is clean.
Whoa! Whoa!
Candace is doing very well with the submarine driving like that, which foreshadows on what's going to happen in the next episode.
That doesn't sound very safe.
It's safer than being eaten by a giant fish monster. Everyone, hold on!
There's 5 years of violin lessons.
5 years with violin lessons as it reveals, but we see that in the Baljeetles where he plays the guitar, which shows it.
It's still gaining on us.
As the line of sight is green right there with the sides and all of that, as the hungry fish monster's catching up to them. And then why did you make it in the first place while you didn't know the fish monster is going to eat it?
sub, if you will.
Why are there bite marks?
I remember a lot of people went to Disney with guests to do voice acting with Ashley Tisdale and Vincent Martella, as we're going to show you why.
What we're doing here is we're doing ADR, which means we've got the animation up that we can watch. You'll hear beeps going up to the line. It'll be beep, 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 and on the fourth imaginary beep is when the line starts.
We gotta get out of here!
Good thing we have an escape vehicle. It's our substitute submarine sandwich submarine.
A sub, if you will.
Ha! Ah! There's no handle! Why are there bite marks? Nobody packed any snacks.
We can't get into the escape pod?
Well, we can't get in the escape pod, but maybe we can still use it. Isabella, swing around to starboard.
Ah!
A sub, if you will.
Ha! Ah! There's no handle! Why are there bite marks? Nobody packed any snacks.
Great.
There you go.
It was not just one person doing it, everyone was doing it with Ashley Tisdale and Vincent Martella on Disney, which is very, very cool.
But that's our only way out of...
We just need to distract it.
And that is a nice diversion for Phineas and Ferb to use it to make sure that the fish monster doesn't catch them.
All waiting for your submission.
Oh, come with me, Mom.
Look at all the food, the sandwich, a hot dog, pizza, chicken, burger, fries, banana. I would love to eat all of them. It looks so yummy.
And thank you for washing your hands. I did that.
Seriously, when was the last time you washed your hands?
Granted.
And there's that billboard win con again. Nice to see it since the second episode. Someone built a stocky Momo made out of sand, which is very cool. And that's the fifth time said, wait, is that something from Dude, We're Getting the Band Back Together, the Balchito episode, the Meatloaf episode, and Thanks, No Thanks?
Oh, it was a real submarine, I swear.
If it's a real submarine, use your hands to remove the sand and show it, and then that's different. What? Candace just trying to explain it. Just do it, Candace. But again, she doesn't.
You've really outdone yourself. I'm so proud of you. We can get you a scholarship.
10 out of 10.
And that's the second time Candace has done well in the castle, as it was Atlantis which Phineas and Ferb brought into Doofus Plot, brought it down. And the second one is Submarine Sandwich Submarine Castle, which it isn't hers.
There you are, Perry.
Oh yes, Perry the Platypus looks so cool in his glasses. Look at him, he's vibing. And also, it's such a shame they removed the old sound, but actually they do bring it back once we get to there.
And he missed his window.
It's because he's not here. Nice to see that classic soundtrack coming back from season 1 earlier, which was very cool. Submarine Sandwich Submarine. This episode has a lot of feels and spills, just like before. As I said, I'm going to give the plot a 2. I really like the idea of Phineas and Ferb using the submarine to explore the Cameron Trench, whatever the name is, and they get caught up by a hungry fish monster that was chasing them, and it was a very thrilling ride to see the point of view of it. And the sand contest in the beach, which Candace did since Atlantis, which is very, very nice. I like how they build it up to it, as we're going to get more. I think the best one was Doof and Perry using food to fight each other, as Perry the Platypus beats him again, and it was very fun. Characterization, 4. Just like everyone in the previous episode and before, everyone is very consistent. Phineas, Ferb, Isabella, Buford, Balchi, Candace, all consistent, and as much as Candace wants to bust them, she really part of the ride, as just like in Phineas and Ferb Inventions in the original series. And Doofus vs. Perry fine as always, which is very fun, and Linda as well as always, and we get plenty of that. The visuals will get a 5. And there are a lot of good animation in this episode, and one of them being Isabella and Buford talking to each other as she's showing her patches, which is very fluid. The facial expression, the posing, the moving to match the voice actor's performance, very great. As well as the underwater, Perry and Do fight scene along with the food and the sandcastles. It's all very well done. Importance is a 2. And entertainment will get a 5. And that leaves off with an 18 out of 25. It's a good episode, but it's not memorable and it's not my favourite either. There are some other episodes that are memorable, just like the other seasons of Phineas and Ferb, and I'll get to that, which will be the next episode I'm going to break down. And the episode's called License to Bust, which is the 4th episode on June the 5th, 2025, written by an old writer from the original series, Kim Robertson. Candace is taking her driving test to earn her license. However, it becomes a determined attempt to bust Phineas and Ferb as they traverse across the city with their latest creation, Gecko Gear, which mimics the ability of Gecko to climb and stick to flat surfaces. Meanwhile, Doofenshmirtz's latest invention causes havoc on the roads by changing traffic lights so he can have the right of way.
I can't believe my baby's 16 and failed her driver's license test.
It happens to a lot of people when people fail their driving test, or people never have a driver's license because you never drove in your life, which is fair. But have you ever got a driver's license? Let me know in the comments down below.
Another one bites the dust.
Your dad and the boys have been helping you parallel park.
Those who don't know, this is in season 1. It's Mod World, which Candace was learned to drive as she learns how to parallel park. And Phineas and Ferb did that by making a truck driver, and it worked for her. I really love the continuity being consistent so far, as the timeline's confusing, but it is very consistent when it comes to the continuity. And we've seen it many times when Candace is driving as Bubble Boys, where Candace was driving with Linda, and in Secret of Success she was driving an all-terrain vehicle, which actually builds up to somewhere, which is great.
Good luck on your test. Imagine the newfound freedom you'll have if you don't fail. So no, I have all the confidence.
Even when Lawrence fixes her bike, he feels confidence that Candace can get it right, which we get to see.
Right here.
Egg, sweetheart.
Alright, let's get this over with.
And the driving instructor, voiced by none other than Jonathan Bates, who played Mike Omatra in Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad, one of my favourite shows. And he also plays Commissioner Gordon in Arkham Knight.
You really think Scarecrow's crazy enough to detonate a chemical weapon in Gotham?
What you doing?
Gecko Gear.
Oh yeah, Gecko Gear was mentioned in the trailer, was it when it came out in April? And now it's here, we're going to see it.
Can lick their own eyes.
And that's the first time, presumably, we see a gecko in Phineas and Ferb. Could he be a secret agent like Perry the Platypus?
Climb up walls.
Like exosuits?
To polymers that can stick and re-stick to any surface.
As the machine powers up as it goes light green, as well as the other green from the square comes as Ferb pulls the lever, as you get to see Gecko Gear when they use it, when they go into Danville of the Sea, as we showed it.
Nailed it. Of course, geckos don't have springs. So
True, but that stiffens as they get bigger, as I did my research on what in Google and I found it out.
thought it might be fun to take a sticky tour around Danville today.
As everyone's wearing the gecko gear, you can see Isabella's hair looks completely separate as she wears it, which is a nice, cool detail. Simple detail, but nice.
My spring may be wound a little too tight.
It may be scary, but at least they put the safeties first. I really like that. Well done to Phineas and Ferb.
Follow Belgie!
Am I the only one wondering where Perry is?
It's a nice picture to see Phineas and Ferb, Candace and Perry. We get to see Big Ben, and also there is Stonehenge. Anyone know Stonehenge? Man, Major Monogram looks jacked in that picture. Wow.
Up pretty nice, don't we, team? Oh, he's not a car, guys.
Well,
It's that way.
Candace is really making this hard for herself. She should really put a simple seatbelt. That's simple. Look at the driving instructor doing it. The driving instructor's like, Candace, are you really messing with me? You have to drive now. Candace, you're 16 and you still don't know how to paddle apart. And speaking of 16, this takes place after July the 11th, which happened last year, as you can see. Go look at the original one, season 1 to season 4. And that was one of the storyboard that full chain animation released. There we go, Candace. The animation so far is very fluid and very clean. Looks superb so far. As Phineas and Ferb appears on the screen reflected on Candace's car, which is very nice. You can hear that Gitchy Gitchy Goo theme right there.
Hello, Perry the Platypus. You shop here too? I hate it when you get stuck in traffic coming home from the store and you...
Look at the food he's packing. Chicken, banana, ice cream, tomato, and then more things.
Yes, of course I returned the cart. I'm evil, not a monster.
Unlike these other pharmacists, he is evil but trying to take over the tri-state area, as you should see.
Red green shiftinator! And get me home before my groceries get grosser.
And that wasn't the last time that Doofenshmirtz was using a native for traffic, as we seen in Hip Hip Parade.
When I zap those streets, there will be 8 times the traffic, and Danville will come to a standstill.
Doofenshmirtz as a hula girl, as a Hawaiian person in that guitar, that is pretty awesome.
I know what you're thinking.
In the first episode, when he used his vaporizer in it was the light blue, or now it's green. I really like how they change it up with the natives. It's the same, but it's different colors. Liking it so far.
That's the real danger. That's the collapse of society, right?
Technically make 3 rights make a left. And I know 2 wrongs make a right, but 3 rights make a left, right?
Just look at the streets, all the signs right there, Candace, and hopefully you can get it right by getting your driver's license.
Go, Candace!
Don't get nervous and make a series of bad decisions that cause you to fail your driver's test and haunt you for the rest of your life.
Looks like Buford's words are gonna motivate Candace as we're going to see in the next scene, and the song is just banging.
Phineas and Ferb, I am busting your biscuits.
And that will be the second time that Candace tries to bust her brothers in while driving since Bubble Boys, which I already mentioned earlier. And she's using handle to change the lane, nice. And the song is called License to Bust, and it's one of the best songs so far. Not my favourite song, but it's a brilliant song. And Ashley Tisdale really goes hard on this song as well. The woman who's wearing the blue shirt is the same woman with the backup singers in Song of the Summer in Cloudy of the Chance the Mom, the ending part. What a flip from Candace, wow. The same areas we use as Candace drives back there, which is odd, but okay. Look at the driving instructor. No matter how Candace is crazy at driving, he is not fazed with anything. As Candace reflected as it changed to Phineas and Ferb and again reflected, which is very cool. That place sounds familiar, but I don't recognize it in which episode. There's that giant floating baby head again. He's so random that she appears everywhere. And he's still using the same grappling hook from season 1 to season 4. Nice that it doesn't change. Perry coming in clutch again. Why did you let go of the glass, man? You broke it. Now you're gonna have to fix it again.
Okay.
Perry the Platypus. They're a magician holding his breath and an ice sculpture.
Doofenshmirtz may be evil again, but at least he's doing something good. Even though he's destroying everything with the traffic lights and stuff, but at least he's doing something good.
Perry the Platypus, I'm not even breaking any laws.
Pesto?
Doofenshmirtz is turning everything green, not just the traffic lights, the stop signs, everything else around Danville.
Summer's great.
That sounds like Cowie Walgan, and it is Cowie Walgan. That's why she's gone on to do Susie Johnson in Meatless in Seattle.
It
It's always about you, isn't it, Janice?
Man, why you gotta be jerked to Janice, man? You don't have to speak like that. Come on, man.
Hey, cool hair.
And Phineas and Ferb's hair's changed. We haven't seen that since The Fast and the Phineas in season 1.
Back at ya.
Heinz is a great name. That lovely.
That era does look familiar, and we're back there since Unfair Science there, the park and the sign there. That is very, very nice.
And you'll finish up by parallel parking right over there.
You better make sure you get it right, Candace, if you want to get your driver's license. While Phineas and Ferb and the gang, like, you can see Isabella's hair flips as her eyes are covered, which is a very, very nice detail. They didn't need to do it, but they did it, and it's really beautiful.
I'll be right back. Wait, where are your sticky hand thingies? I gotta show Mom.
That is Candace's motif. You hear that every single time. Dun, 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 dun. That's her theme.
I hope I'm insured for this.
Looks like Phineas and Ferb's invention saves Perry and Doof. Poor Doofus, man. All the money he spent on food is wasted as he lost it there. Poor Doof.
A pregnant magician? You remembered our first date.
And there's that woman with the blue shirt once again. And the guy there, he actually does appear later on once we get to there.
Pork loin? I can work with that. There you are, Perry.
I don't mind Perry the Platypus's new sound, but I miss the old sound when Perry the Platypus sounds like this.
Oh, there you are, Perry. I don't understand what has gotten into you, Candace.
Well, I'll be riding my bike till I'm 35.
By the time you turn 35, you'll be having 3 kids, Xavier and Amanda and Fred.
You can also drive a car. You pass.
After going through trial error in its mod world to Bubble Boys to its secret to success to here, she finally got her driver's license. Now that case has finally been closed.
Face of the craziest traffic I have never seen. More alert and focused driving in all my life.
Since driving instructor doesn't have a name, I'm gonna call him Mr. Gordon, like Commissioner Gordon, the character that Jonathan Banks voiced in Arkham Knight.
By the way, I have 2 sisters I always wanted to bust.
You never will get us, Brian.
His first name hasn't been revealed until his 2 sisters reveal it. I'm gonna call him Brian Gordon, his full name.
To see what the girls are doing.
Wait a second. Did you guys do something with your hair?
You like it?
Even their mom recognized that Phineas and Ferb's hair's changed, but it's not them, it's Doofenshmirtz. Candace has good thinking right there, just for the inventions to disappear once again, just like in every episode. I really like Lawrence's impression there at the end. He's like, I'm cleaning up her butt in case she fails her driving test. And he heard that Candace passed her driving test. He's like, oh shit, I have to do something. Let's start with this episode with the plot getting a 3. An idea to have Candace for her driving test while continuing from the original series, which tackles it very, very nicely. And Candace does drive while she tries to bust her brothers at the same time, while Phineas and Ferb and his gang uses gecko gear to go around the city, and they're having a fun time with it. There is a harmony between in every episode as we get to see Doof and Perry together, as Doofenshmirtz trying to pick up bystanders to help them, as he shows that he is not a monster, as he's using traffic lights to get faster to home, which Perry the Platypus stopped him, and it is also a very, very good way to do it. Characterization will get a 5. Everyone's on point in this episode. Phineas, Ferb, Isabella, Buford and Balgi all having fun while doing their inventions with the gecko gears. Very nice. The driving instructor is very consistent, as he always sees Candace driving, and even though she does crazy things with her driving during it, the driving license still gave her a par, as she succeeded expectations of doing it. Doof and Perry are the same, as they're very consistent, just like in Season 1 and Season 4. Everyone else is a very good job, including Linda. Visuals, of course, it will be a 5. The animation's getting better and better. Some pacing are off in first few seasons, but in this episode and the sandwich, submarine, or submarine, whatever I call it. The gecko gear, Candace is driving, license to boss, Doof and Perry with their shenanigans and all of that. Everything else is very well done and is animated very well. And Phineas and Ferb's hair too. Importance, it has to be a 3. And it's still very remembered in the episode, and one of them being Candace getting her driver's license after she'd been through in It's Mud World, Bubble Boys, and its secret to success. And it leads up to here right now, and she successfully got her driving license. I really love how the revival tackles the issues of the plot lines that didn't go anywhere in season 1 and season 4, but I'm glad they picked it up, and that what makes it so great for this episode is, and they did a very good job. And for entertainment, it gets a 5. Why not? Just why not? And it's a 21 out of 25. I think this is the best episode so far after Cloudy of the Chancellor Mom, but that was a first episode of the 2 with Summer Blockbuster, but this is the first normal episode that is my favorite, but there are other episodes that are good too once we get to that. Now, let's move on to the final thoughts. Okay, there are a lot of things that's going on with the revival. There's a tweet by Joshua Pruitt actually designed the concept sketches that he worked on the opener in Phineas and Ferb and other episodes too, which you could find. And there's also a storyboard scene of Candace driving while in License to Bus while the song was playing with the driving instructor. And I'll show it to you screen, and credit to the people who did it. And to also another fact, Jenny Morawski, Jeff Swampy-Marsh's daughter, is actually the new teacher of Phineas and Ferb, designed after her. And also she's actually a teacher in real life. And also another fact, she's also named after the hippie Jenny. In August the 9th, in the Japanese premiere of Phineas and Ferb will be released on that day. So any Japanese fans, are you looking forward to it? Let me know in the comments down below. And in my opinion, as we see it, Phineas and Ferb in Revival is actually making a very good start. There are some animations that fell off in the first episode, but it's starting to get a grip, as well as the story, the settings, and whatever it is shenanigans that's causing right here. If you want more Phineas and Ferb and maybe a movie in the future or other things, please go on Disney Plus if you have it. And it got 60 million views or something, whatever it called. And so that's why it gets a revival. So I'm looking forward to see what it has in the future. And I'm gonna put my first poll in season 5 of Phineas and Ferb, and it's simple. Which is out of your 4 episodes is your favorite? Let me know in the community tab when it goes live, and until then, I hope you have a fantastic day. As always, see ya.